Loves. My name is Nia. Welcome back to my channel. We're about to pour up and talk about edges today. Before we get started, I'm going to have a little sip of wine. So I'm not even going to tell you guys what this wine is because, well, I'll show it to you, but I don't like it. This is a new wine for me, but I don't waste my wine, guys. I am drinking a little bit earlier than I typically do because I took today off. Today was election day. I did go vote and I heard about like 5-hour line. So me and my husband just decided to take that day off. But I know that I will not be tempted to like drink this whole bottle because I don't like it that much. It's a vegan wine, and shout out to all my vegans out there. You guys definitely inspired me to be more healthy. But the first time I drank this wine, I was like, whatever part of the animal is in wine, godly, put it back in there because this is not the best. But long story short, that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking all about edges. I'm going to sip this wine and then we're going to get right into it. Okay, first I wanted to have a disclaimer. I have seen so much nasty behavior around edges, and I just wanted to say that there are multiple reasons that have nothing to do with how you treat your hair that could cause your edges to thin/recede. And it's not funny, and it's not cute to make fun of people who have thinning edges. Let's not do that. Let's stop doing that. Now, with that said, there are reasons why people with locks, especially those of us who interlock, have our edges start to recede due to how we care for our hair. So this video is going to be about how can we prevent that if you are having thinning edges or edge loss because of hair care. Now, those individuals who may have medical conditions and stuff like that, if you are caring for your hair really well and you know you're doing the best you can, I do suggest going to see a dermatologist or a specialist to get that support that you need. I have had lots of luck with the dermatologist this year. I have hormonal acne, and I know as somebody who has a medical condition that affects my appearance, how much I do not like people shaming or giving their 2 cents about how to have clear skin. Everybody who thinks that they don't have an issue with a certain situation, they think that they're an expert on it or that they know how to care for other situations when you could just have clear skin already. And anywho, the disclaimer's over. Let's get into edges. So when it comes to the thinning edges on locks, I want to talk about several different factors, but one of the things that's going to be included is the fact that I lay my edges. And so I'm just going to go from my edge routine from beginning to end and then give a reasoning as to why I do that. I guess we're going to start off with the one that's kind of really connected to locks, with retightening. I retighten my edges actually more than I do the rest of my hair. As you can see, the back of my hair is not retightened, but this front line is retightened, and it goes a little bit further than the front line on the sides. On the sides, I have like it back a couple more lines. And this is why. One, when I retighten my edges, I don't do it as tight as I do the rest of my head because the hair along the perimeter is more sensitive and prone to breakage. So I do not tighten my edges as tight as I do the rest of my hair. So therefore, it grows back quicker. Another reason I retighten my edges more frequently than the back of my head is because I will start to get slippage and hair falling out of the locks whenever the hair has not been retightened. So to keep the locks around the perimeter healthy and maintained, I retighten them probably every 3 weeks or so. I'll retighten this perimeter. And also it makes your hair look better. Now, I will say individuals with traditional locks who palm roll, I don't know very much. Ooh, I am just checking myself out. I'm trying my best to look in the camera though, instead of the viewfinder. But those of you all who have traditional locks who palm roll, I do know that excessive palm rolling can cause breakage. So I don't know if this applies to you, but I'm talking to my ladies who interlock right now. I don't interlock my edges as tight. I have had my edges interlocked too tight, and I have seen breakage along my edges when they have been interlocked too tight. So those of you guys who interlock your hair, you guys know how it looks when you have it down. So none of mine are doing this, but when they're retightened so tight that you can kind of see your hair pulling. Actually, you know what, ladies? All of us know. The majority of us probably know what this looks like. This looks like when you have braids that are too tight and you can see it pulling at the edges. I want to avoid that at all costs with the perimeter of my hair. Now in the back, sometimes I do get it a little bit tighter, but I try to avoid that sensation. But the perimeter, I'm definitely going looser than even what I do in the back. So my edges are on a different schedule than the rest of my locks, just to keep them looking neat and also to make sure that I can retighten them looser so that they just, so that they are less prone to breakage. So moving right along, I want to talk about cleansing my edges so that I do not get buildup. Because I am someone who does like to use a little bit of edge control, I don't have very much on today because my edges are freshly retightened, so I don't have that much to push out. But because I use edge control, I need to make sure that I do not get buildup in my locks, because buildup can also lead to breakage and just your locks not looking as nice, them being weighed down and heavy. So this is what I do for cleaning that area. So I'm going to show you guys, but you're not seeing like what it looks like whenever I have like lots of edges out in the front, because like I said, this is freshly retightened. But when I have more edges out in the front and my hair isn't as freshly retightened, this is more of like a scrubbing process. So what I do is I take a little bit of the TPH scalp cleansing Master Scalp Cleanse, and it is a liquid formula that just cleanses the scalp. It does not foam up, and that is why I like it. You want to use something that doesn't foam up. Now, I will say there are some ingredients in the TPH Master Cleanse that I don't know if I still feel comfortable using in my locks or my hair once I finish the bottle, but this works really well. You cleanse the front to get the dirt and gunk or like the edge control out, and I use a Q-tip and I just take it and go in between my edges and go over the edge control to get that buildup off. Like I said, the TPH product, there are just some ingredients in there that I don't know if I'm comfortable using just because of like toxins and such. But if you are not on like more of a clean beauty journey, I really do enjoy this product because it's not something that foams up where you would have to wash it out like a shampoo. Now, I do know Dr. Locs has a similar product. I've never tried it before, but it's like a scalp cleanse where you can kind of get your, cleanse your scalp without having to fully wash your hair. I'm really interested in it, and I do believe it is sulfate free, paraben free, all that good stuff. So that may be an option for those of you guys who are on a clean beauty journey to get that gunk cleaned out of the edges so that you do not have buildup around your edges. Next, I'm going to talk about moisturizing your edges. Now, that area around the edges, like I said, can be more prone to breakage, so I do baby it a little bit more than I do the rest of my hair, and I will take time to oil that area and moisturize that area more than the rest of my scalp. Now, I always put some sort of moisturizer down before, or not moisturizer, oil, before I do any, you guys know what this is, before I lay my edges. Before I lay my edges, I will add some oil. And what I like to use when I lay my edges is jojoba oil, because it's a lighter oil that can just lay up under the edge control better than something thicker like Jamaican black castor oil. But I love using Jamaican black castor oil every so often at night to oil my edges and make sure that they're still growing strong and moisturized. So I do add that onto my edges probably about every 4 to 5 days. I also sometimes spray the front first with water or some sort of liquid-based conditioner, and then add the oil on top so that I can seal in that moisture. When it comes to laying your edges, if that's something that you choose to do, you're going to want to get a formula that does not break out your edges or rip out your edges. I cannot remember what type of edge control it was for the life of me, but I actually had it when I was a loose natural, and this edge control, it was super thick and it got the edges laid down really well, but I started to notice that they were thinning. Pay attention to how your hair responds to different edge control. I am using, I believe, the Michelle Organics or something like that, and then a Carol's Daughter edge control in this video that I'm showing to you guys. I also really like the Blueberry Bliss edge control, but I use it in the same way that I'm going to use the Michelle Organics edge control right now. What I do is I take an edge control, and actually I just started doing this, using this method with my locks, probably like 2 months ago. Previously I did something different. But I was remembering how I did my locks, or how I did my hair when I was a loose natural. And what I did is I would take an edge control that was a little bit more malleable, so not one of the ones that's super thick, and I would use it to sculpt my edges. Now, why I think this is important for locks is because you want to make sure that you do not get any of the edge control in your actual locks, because you don't want the buildup. You just want it on the edges that you're laying down. So if you take the edge control that's more malleable, you can kind of swoop and have better control of your brush, and make sure that you do not get it in your edges. Then I take a thicker edge control and I just kind of dab it on the top so that it stays longer. And so the Blueberry Bliss is definitely like the Blueberry Bliss, oh man, I forgot is it ORS? I don't remember the brand. I want to say that's one of my top favorite edge controls. It does not leave your edges down for very long though, but it's very malleable and it smells good. But then all you need to do is take the slightest bit of a thicker edge control and lay it on the top. Also, the Blueberry Bliss and the Michelle Organics, I've never had any issues with flaking. But I have seen that with the Carol's Daughter. So that's why I only use the slightest amount, and I just pat it down to make sure that the edges do not start to pop up. Let me clarify. I haven't seen like excessive flaking with the Carol's Daughter. It was a couple of weeks ago, and I think I just used maybe too much, and I saw a little bit of flaking with the Carol's Daughter. But with the other two that I mentioned, I haven't seen it like at all. And back when I was a loose natural, I caked that stuff. Like it was a lot going on in there, and I did not see it. Lastly, I want to talk about bonnets. I'm going to show you my bonnets when it comes to maintaining a really nice and healthy edges. I'm going to show you it from my least favorite to my most favorite and tell you why. My least favorite is anything like this where you have to tie it around your edges. I noticed when I was wearing this that there was so much friction around my edges, and I did see some thinning, not breakage, but like some thinning in the top. So I don't really care for things where you have to tie something around it. Now, what you could do if you do have one like this is you could just take a scarf and lay that over your edges, and then kind of have this back towards the back of your head, or, you know, push it back so you don't have that tension on your edges. But this is my least favorite. Second least favorite is something like this. Well, one, because it's just too small for my locks now. I'm going to give this to my little sister, I think. But I just love cheetah print, so that's why I got it. But as you can see, this does not really do anything. One, is too small. But it didn't really stay on my edges. It normally kind of flat laid right here towards the end of the night, and so my edges were having that friction on the pillow. Now, I do have some satin pillowcases, and I really wanted to get into satin pillowcases, but honestly, they just kind of make me hot at night. So I'm not really that into them. Now, here we go. The ones that I really do like. Things with a band. So this was my first one with the band, and I noticed that I just really liked how my edges looked in the morning with it, because it definitely kept them laid down more. But also it stays on my head better because it just kind of like cups your head. But what I like even more than that is this one. Look at this, a thick band. So this one, I guess I'll put it on for you guys. It has a super thick band. Yeah. I thought that was going to be easier than it was, as you can see. This has a super thick band that goes around your edges, and it just, I feel like it keeps them so soft and it lays them down just perfectly. And this does not, like, if it moves when I'm sleeping, there is still something protecting my edges, because I can pull it down to like right here. So if it moves right here, we're still good. So I got this off of Amazon, I think. If I got it off of Amazon, I'll link it below. I know a lot of times you guys really want the links, but the vast majority of the time I get my bonnets just from like a beauty supply store close, so I don't really have a link. But just look for something with a band like this. If you're shopping for a bonnet, look for something with a thicker band and something that does not have this type of tie around it. I will try my best to have links to all the products below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate all the love and support. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video too, you may enjoy my Instagram. Follow me at still.niabia. I'd love to see you over there and interact with you on that platform as well. Peace and blessings, guys. Bye.